Hey, I thought after almost 10 years of adminning this group that I should do a video, introduce you to me, Melinda Martin, owner of Martin Publishing Services, and just kind of, since everybody does videos and things these days, I thought, okay, it is out of my comfort zone. I do Zoom calls with clients, but recording myself talking is difficult. But here we are. So I know everybody does difficult things, and this is my difficult thing. Being on camera is my difficult thing. But this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And to be honest, I just really hated my hair. But now I got this sassy new haircut and color, which you can't really see. I can't wash it for 3 days, so it's a little greasy. And this is why I can't be on video, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope no one is saying how ugly I am and how greasy my hair is. But that's okay. I'm just gonna ignore that. But I'm trying to really be myself. If you know me, you know I'm really transparent. Like, I feel like everybody has a struggle. And what does it matter if people know what I struggle with? That is how we grow, by admitting our struggles and assessing them, and looking at the fear that's behind that struggle, and then taking action steps to overcome that fear. So I don't have a fear of public speaking. It's not that. I just hate seeing myself. I don't look in the mirror like just know this is a big thing. And thankfully my husband loves me. He thinks I'm beautiful. And that's really all the affirmation that I need a lot of the time. So I'm like, okay, just make sure you're clean, brush your hair, brush your teeth, and the rest of it take care of itself. And so we've been married 20 years. So that's a good plan for us. It works. But now the kids are older, and I am wanting to do more videos. So I'm like, okay, if I get my hair done, I'll feel better. And so I did, and that was the most I've ever paid for a hair cut and color. I've actually never had my hair professionally colored, but it was a really good investment working with a fellow expert. She is an expert designer. And so it was a great experience going with her and knowing that she had 20 years experience. She was referred, and we really connected personally, and it was a great experience. So stay tuned for future videos where my hair is washed. But I kept putting off doing this video, like, oh, but this isn't perfect. And now I'm working in my bedroom because we're moving, and I had to move out of my office in downtown, and oh, but this, oh, but that. And there's always lots of excuses. So I said, today I'm doing this video if it's the last thing I do. So this is honestly the 5th time I've recorded this video. And that's okay. This one, I think I'm going to use this one. So I wanted to show y'all, tell you who I am, what I do, what makes me an expert in this industry, and what types of questions. If you don't know who to ask, then you'll know what you can ask me. And pretty much you can ask me anything, because if I don't know the answer, well, then I want to know the answer, because I don't like not knowing. And if nothing else, I know enough solid quality people in the industry that I can refer you to someone who does know the answer. And they're probably in this group, and so I can just tag them. So I'm going to start with the thing I do the most of right now, and that's print on demand books for authors such as yourself. I know a lot of y'all in the group are print on demand. And so this is Hope Remains by Summer Gordon. It's a great story about she lost her son. He was ran over by a member of their church accidentally, of course. And he was a young, I believe he was 5. And so anyway, I want to do a separate post on that, because I actually do a lot of books like this, unfortunately, for parents who've lost their children. But this is a print-on-demand book. She also opted to work with Mexusa at Total Printing Systems to do a short-run print. And we also worked with Ingram Spark to do a hardback cover of her book. So one thing that I also do is I she knew she wanted to use a custom photo for this book, and she was working with a photographer. And custom photography for a book cover is a special skill. And if you've never done it before, well then, just like with anything you've never done before, you need to know what the parameters are. So I worked with her photographer, gave her a bit of coaching and some feedback, told her what I needed, and we were able to get the photos, and I was able to do a composite, and then we created the cover. And so it's a beautiful cover, and here's the back cover, and then the interior, like, it's just straight, you know, this was kind of straightforward with some things. And then we had 3 different voices speaking in here, so I handled that differently, but we also have photos in here. Oh, she sent me this beautiful gift. I forgot that was the gift card I put in there to remind me. Like, look at this gorgeous bracelet. Her cousin makes these oh man, I don't have the name, and the card dropped, and I'm in a really tall chair. So I was going to show you her. All right, so we'll just do this. Advanced praise, half title page, copyright, full title page. And that's her sweet boy, Sawyer. Oh my goodness. Dedication. Forward. We had lots of things going on here. Lots of parts. And then the story starts. And then her husband is a part of the narrative. And then the young man that was involved is also a part of the narrative. So I do have a heart for, I call these VIPs, very important projects. And this is definitely a book that not only makes a difference in her family's life, but in the lives of others. I have to holler at my dog. Hold on. Roxy, stop. She keeps, like, we have a cat outside, and it's a neighbor's cat. She wants to get the cat. Okay, so this book, I did do this in hardback, but I don't have my copy yet. This book is a dust jacket through Ingram Spark. Oh, look, see, my authors write me a note. Isn't that sweet? That always makes me feel good. I am a words of affirmation. I love language. I'm also an ENTJ, if you couldn't tell. So this is Priscilla Dormis's book. I actually have done several books for her, working on 2 additional books right now. I love to work with authors that are doing more than one book, because they're like, I'm doing this, you know, like, let's go. And so I'm definitely a let's go kind of a girl. I want to do it all, and I wanted to do it the best. And I love having an author that is also on that same journey. So this is her book. I have another video that's about how I revamped her cover, because she had originally done the covers herself. And we actually retitled this book. And so I do have videos recorded, but I just couldn't bring myself to post them. Isn't that terrible? So I am the middle child of 7, and I had 4 beautiful, beautiful sisters. Not that I'm not beautiful, you know, thank you, all that stuff. I get it. But I just had an issue with not as beautiful as they were. And my father was critical, and it made some other issues in my life. See how transparent I am? Okay, so the dust jacket. Now, this was before Ingram Spark started offering a jacketed case laminate. So this is what Ingram Spark, you can still get this. You don't have to get a case laminate with a dust jacket. Just now you can. So this is what it looked like before. I think I had done some photos, or it was another book. I can't tell. Okay, look, they used to do gold stamping. This is different. This is an ink they're using now. But anyway, so her book is like this. See how I like to use this on the half title page, and I bring those elements inside the book. Full title page. Oh yeah, I forgot it. Doesn't that look so nice? So professional. And we just have, then we just have the book. Oh yeah, like I did that for the chapter intros. Yeah, super cute. Oh, and her back cover. Ta-da! All right, so while I'm on that, this is one of the other books, and we're in the middle of moving. If you're around me a lot, you'll know we're on our journey to live our best life. And so for us right now, our long-term goal is moving to the Virgin Islands or moving to an island community. But since I live in the same town I've lived in my whole life, even though my husband was Navy and he was kind of like a world traveler, I haven't really gone anywhere. So I thought, let's do this in stages. So we're actually on our way to Florida. I'm waiting to hear back on the lease on a home, and maybe we'll be there March 1st. So I got all my books boxed up, except a few that have come in since then. Okay, so this is one of Priscilla's other books, Chicken Pops and the Seven Bears. So what I did for this book, she worked with a professional illustrator, did an amazing job. And so the illustrator does what the illustrator does and provides the illustrations. Sometimes the illustrators will do hand titling and stuff like that, do hand lettering, which is great. But if you don't have an illustrator who wants to be involved, then I will work with you on font selection and adding the title to your book and adding the text to the back cover. And then this is actually a print-on-demand book. It's so adorable, from Ingram Spark. She also is printing this exact same book as a dust-jacketed case laminate with Jay Maletsky's company, IAPC. We're waiting on that shipment of books to come in. But what that is going to look like, now this is an 8.5 by 8.5. And then this is Jay's book. I did not do this book. I'm not associated with this book in any way. And this is, I believe, a 10 by 10. This is a dust-jacketed case laminate, so I wanted to show you that he printed with a printer in China. And then this is an 8.5 by 8.5. I think it may be an 8 by 8, but I'm thinking it's 8.5 by 8.5. So you can see that difference there. And then with a jacketed case laminate, see, the front cover is the same. And then we've got, this is Jay's book, which is, oh my gosh, the coloring, the illustrator did an amazing job in this. Like usually I don't see a lot of books that illustrators have formatted. What I do is formatting. What they do is illustrating, different. But whoever did this, I don't know what their professional processes look like, but their end result, it's beautiful. I mean, the book, just the illustrations alone, the story alone are amazing. Okay. So this is my client, Robert Miranda. You see him hanging out in the group. This is a book he and his wife worked on together, Eternal Infinity. So it's fiction. I definitely work on fiction. And we had a great time working on this. So this is another print-on-demand book that we did. Oh, I love this because on the spine, like I don't always get to work on books that are thick enough for a dominant spine element. So I love this though. I was glad I was able to do that. And I have so many other great books too that are packed up. But when we get situated, I'll break them out. Okay, so this book is a hardback case laminate. It was printed with Total Printing Systems Megsusa. You can kind of see this has like the gloss on the letters. And it's a little raised. I don't know how to work all the little camera elements that so many people do when they hold it up and it does things, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to be amazing one day. All right, so we didn't use any self-ends or this is a normal end sheet here. She wrote me a note too, sent me a copy. So we did the interior in color, and it has a coded page. You cannot get that with print on demand. Ooh, how do I do this? Okay. We're learning together. All right. So let's totes adorbs. very nicely laid out table of contents page. I do all this myself. Minishal Islam, he's in the group also, and he does amazing EPUB conversions. Sometimes I do them, sometimes he does them, just depending on my on my availability and the needs of it. It's like a super advanced. I like for Minishal to do that because that's what he specializes in. I do advanced layouts, and he does advanced EPUB conversions. EPUB conversions are HTML and CSS coding. It's not like, oh yeah, we run this through a converter. No, not that at all. Okay, so like we did, this is her intro to her holiday section. We did this. And then she worked with a friend who's a photographer, ShaylaRaquel.com, did the editing. And so like working with a cookbook, like especially this is using one master page, and we have to take the longest recipe and then work backwards from there as to how much text will fit on a page. Anyway, we had a great time working on this book. It's beautiful. Jessica Rose Ward, she was actually on Food Network's Cupcake Wars, season 7 and 8, and baked for major TV shows such as NBC's Fashion Star, the cooking channels Food Factor Fiction, and MTV's Ridiculousness. So I love her cover because I'm sassy, if you couldn't tell, and I don't really get a lot of other sassy authors, but What to Bake When, a baking handbook for the basic bitch. Maybe she needs to do one for the boss bitch. Like, it would just be coffee. So anyway, love that. And then the last book I want to show you, this was also printed with TPS. This is also another case laminate. And what I love about this book, I have a lot of authors that try to take their own photos. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to realize we can tell, basically. However, Lucy Jo Bowman is a photographer, legit. She works in her home. She beautifully staged. So in addition to photography, like a professional photographer, sometimes they will go in and like make adjustments, but usually the staging is done by someone else, and then the photographer comes in, especially this level of home staging. Food photography is different, but there's a lot going on with this background, and it's just beautifully done. So these bigger photo shoots, you usually have to involve a decorator and then bring in a photographer. So she is both. So we really connected because she's all in like me. And these are also coded pages, which you cannot get that with Ingram Spark or, isn't that beautiful? I just love that tan and that blue. And there's sweet little Lucy. And then of course my favorite spread, we did stuff like this, like she was looking at different styles. Here it is. This was my favorite page in the book because it was color theory. I was like, oh, that's great that she would include that in there. So all kinds of good things. And yes, it was just beautifully done. Her photography really makes this book stand out. And then here is the focus. How do we do this? Okay, I think that worked. So this is her book, and it's beautiful. And that's all I have to show you right now. So, but yes, I do the interior formatting. I also do what's called typesetting. I didn't always do typesetting. So I did kind of, but now I'm doing more of a more rigid typesetting so that it supports the professional industry of typesetters. I don't want to just say, oh yeah, I'm a typesetter and not be typesetting. So I am always working on leveling up, as I talked about. I help with photo selection. I coach photographers. I work with small presses to help them set up their processes. I'll save that for a different video because I have a lot of thoughts about that and why small presses fail a lot and how they just get bogged down because they don't really know what somebody. I am the core of their business. I feel like a person like me that is doing their design and their work. And if they don't know what I do, like, you have to be able to, say it with me, inspect what you expect. But a lot of people get into, they start their own publishing companies or presses, because there are a lot of people that will pay $8,000 to $12,000 to get a book published. And so they go after it, not because they have a love of publishing, because they have a love of money. And that's not me. Like, money's great. We need money. Not my primary focus at all. It never has been, as some of you may know from another post in the group. So anyway, my 5-minute video is finally over after 20 minutes. I don't even know who is still here with me after all this time. But if you made it this far, congratulations. And thanks for being on this journey with me. So I love to talk about publishing. This is what happens when I start talking about publishing. It goes on for a long time. So anyway, y'all take it easy. I'll see you in the comments.